Public Safety and Public Works Committee. Open it to order. The first thing we have is July minutes. No questions on that. First, we have Department of Public Safety, resolution to adopt an ordinance to regulate business hours in the city of Benton Harbor in order to prohibit business open for purposes of retail sales and operating between the hours of 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Public Safety.
Anyway, the only change from legislative committee was we made a concession on bumping the end time back to 5 a.m. And that was to accommodate some people that work in the city and have to be in the city at 6 a.m. So they can stop for gas and such during that time. That's why that change was made. Other than that, it's the same as what went through legislative last week.
This will regulate the hours. They're open back up at 5. So can you give me a total, how many convenience stores we talking about? Six. And all 6 agreed to this. They'll abide by it. That's the plan, right? By them staying closed from 2 to, they close right at 2. No gas, no retail sales at all. No gas, gasoline, nothing like that.
All 6 were not there. There were only 3 there, but all were invited. The 3 that were there all agreed unanimously.
This is across the board, though. All the rest of them have to fall in line because of the ordinance. This is an ordinance. Okay. No, Jake, you got a question on the ordinance? All right. I guess we'll move that forward. Cash, you have anything you want to say about the ordinance? Okay.
No, the only thing I would say is that the ones that were there, you know, they were more than willing, but they wanted it to be across the board. So that they said that would be the only way it was fair, is if everyone did it at the same time.
Tell me this, what time liquor sales stop? Is it 12 or 2?
2.
It's 2, okay. Okay, we'll move that forward. So we have Department of Public Works, resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Northern Construction Services for the contract for valving and water system improvement project. Mr. Jason Marquardt, you have the floor.
I have some quick little presentations, and I'm going to go through items 1 through 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see it up there. Couple of things to open. All right, Jason Markworth Admarsh, project engineer, working with the city on a couple project awards that I'm going to review. The first one is a valving and water system improvements project. So we'll go right into it. In the packet, you will have our recommendation for award for potential construction project for the city. And I'll summarize it. Grant and bid summary. As you guys may remember, the city received an $800,000 grant from the US EPA. That was the money that Senator Peters put together for the city probably a couple years back. That grant award was fully executed in April of this year. What we decided to put together was a valving and a hydrant improvement project for upgrading to the city's distribution network citywide. The city received 3 bids on that scope on July 2nd. Contractor bids were complete, included all the bonding requirements, and were provided the information on the city's income tax. So the project scope really includes improving water valves within the distribution system and replacing some older non-functioning fire hydrants. If you're aware, around town, you may have seen some bagged hydrants. That's from Public Works and the operation folks going out, assessing the hydrants' condition, trying to flow test them, and if they're not flowing, they'll put a bag on it. A lot of times, you'll see that it's a result of some of existing valves, system valves that aren't operating and functioning. So this project will replace all those ones that are bagged and also probably install some additional valving in the system so some of the distribution mains can be turned on and turned off. This also provides updates to Eagle. I presented it last month at Economic Development that I presented. The city just entered into a new administrative consent order agreement with Eagle. One of their items on here was maintaining and putting together standard operating procedures for maintaining and operating valves. So this is one of the nice first steps into that program. And it covers one of the Eagle's ACO items. So as part of this project, right now it's 35 fire hydrant replacements. Within those fire hydrants, there's 23 valves that have been called out for installation and replacement. And of course, your associated pavement replacement and restoration. The city did receive 3 bids, like I mentioned. Northern Construction Services was low, bid at $779,505. So just under the bid amount, or just under the grant amount. Northern Construction has recently done projects such as Division Columbus, May Monroe, and they're currently working in the city on Pavone, McAllister, and Broadway. So I'll kind of show my picture. I don't know if you can see, I guess you can see that. So the sites are, they're spread out throughout the entire city. So you can see some of the larger rectangles might have a couple hydrants along that line. Also, even though we might be working on one hydrant in a specific area, we might need to go to the intersecting intersections, or the intersections at each side of the block to maybe isolate that line. So this project will improve the valving and also replace the hydrants that you see out there that's bagged. And really, that is it. They're planning on starting as soon as the city awards it. We listed the project as starting here in the fall, and really, we gave them until June of next year. Just thinking, some of these might be difficult. Contractors would be available maybe to do some of this over the winter. It is isolated, and it might not just be start from finish. It might be just at avenues and windows of a contractor's availability. We also thought that was a good idea for pricing. So we didn't want to price a contractor too much and just say you're starting 1 month and got it finished the second month. So they have they have until June of next year to do that. But Northern actually is talking with the city and talking with us. They could start as early as next month on doing some of these replacements. So,
So this 800,000 gonna cover 35 hydrants, 25 valves.
Yep, and associated roadway repairs that if we get into the roadway, and cover, any restoration that results of an excavation.
Grant is for 800,000 and the bid it at 77.
779,505.
So with the what's left, do the city have some options to do something with that?
Essentially, what I would expect to do is working with city staff, DPW staff, to exhaust that 800,000. So maybe another hydrant, maybe another valve, maybe a little bit of contingency for the city, but definitely be used for improvements to the system.
Any questions for?
What question?
Oh, go ahead, City
Am I
Manager.
missing something, or is what's left about $495?
It's 20,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so 800 minus 779 it's just about 20K. Yep.
All right, we go to the next one.
All right.
I'd like to know how many hydrants that are in need of repair.
I don't have that information right here. I do know that this will get most of those hydrants that are out there bagged completed. So,
Jason, I can help with that.
yeah, you got
That would
those
leave us all
numbers?
but 2 hydrants.
Yes, yeah.
So, to be repaired.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That would leave us all but 2 hydrants. So everything other than 2 hydrants would be repaired.
And we still have a couple of dollars left over.
Sure. And if we can reduce the footprint of maybe an excavation or maybe an insertive valve or something that, we would definitely be looking at replacing those 2, for sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Representative?
Can you say which two?
Not off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
Representative Fields, anything? All right, Jason, we can move forward.
All right. Let's see here. I had it open. Oh, there it is. All right, the next project is, what I'm referring to as the Water Plant Phase 2 project. It is the second water plant project that's associated with the funding that the city has received. So I'll go ahead and get into some details here on this project. In your packet, you have a letter of recommendation from Fleece and Vanderbeek. They were the design engineers, part of the water plant improvements. So you have that in your packet. I just kind of have some screenshots here on it. A little bit of background. Last month when I came and I presented the results of the Eagles' recent sanitary survey, they just recently completed that for the city and gave the city their findings. That was provided in March of 2025. There was some deficiencies listed at the water plant. I just summarized them here. Replace filter wash arms, properly abandon and isolate filters 1 through 4 with rehab of filters 5 through 12. Installing gaskets at the high service suction well, and there was additional recommendations were made as part of that sanitary survey that the city received that I kind of spoke on last month. The proposed water plant scope, the one that's we're looking at moving forward for our construction project, provides rehabilitation of filters 5 through 12 at the plant. It improves low service pumps. It replaces those reservoir hatches that they required as part of the ACO item, or sanitary sewer item, survey item, sorry. And then improvements to many of the controls and instrumentations. So it addresses many of Eagle's items that they listed in the sanitary survey. 2 bids were received in February of this year. Grand River Construction provided a bid of $4,197,890, and then Peerless Midwest provided a bid of $6,443,100. So really, for recommendation award, Since bidding from February, and now we're here in August, we have been working with Eagle on that recent sanitary survey results. It was determined by Eagle that all under drains for each one of those filter improvements were not required. F&V reviewed that with the low bid contractor and negotiated basically for the contract to remove 4 of the 8 under drains. Eagle said it wasn't all required to do so. So we have a little bit of value engineering before possible recommendation for award. That resulted in a new bid amount of $3.8 million, just over $3.8 million, so a savings of $390,900. F&V Engineering recommends that the city award the project to Grand River Construction in the amount of $3,806,990. Just remember that this is part of that water funding that has to be utilized and spent by next year. So we want to get the contractor going, working on the water plant, and using that funding that the city's been spending throughout this last several years. There's a little bit of things that's required on the grant. I presented this last month, but this is an update. So the current grant funding, if you guys all recall, there were 4 tasks on it. One was the lead service replacements. So the state allocated a certain budget for the lead service replacements. They also allocated a certain money for the water treatment plant improvements, what I have listed under task 2. Task 3 was the distribution system upgrades, the work that's been ongoing in the streets. And then they had a task 4 for contractual support services. So that totals up that $45 million that the city has received. And that's the current grant funding. You'll see that the water plant treatment improvements is just their budget. The budget that the state submitted first was just at $4.8 million. So with this bid that comes in, the cost and the budget allowed for the water treatment plant is now at $7.3 million. So on my slide, you can see that with this new bid that is here for recommendation for award, it makes the bucket of money, the task 2 budget, it needs $7.3 million to finish the work at the plant. Talking with Eagle, we were chatting about how task 3, there's a couple projects that we were targeting next year. One is being the Superior and Ogden project, and I brought this up maybe a month ago. The state would like the city to consider moving that money to the water treatment plant to proceed with this project as bid, because it does cover the ACO items that they put in the sanitary survey. So we would be asking for a recommendation for city commission to essentially move some of the budget from the distribution system over to the water plant. It's got to be done through commission so that Eagle has their new budget numbers. So when the city puts their reimbursement requests. So it summarizes here, it's not a net, it's a zero-sum transfer is what I call it. You're transferring some money from task 3 for the distribution system to put into task 2 to proceed with this plant work. So final recommendations, city considers awarding this next water treatment plant project to Grand River Construction in an amount of $3,806,990. And then also complete the amendment on the Public Acts 53 grant funding, reallocating $2,524,278.13 from task 3 to the task 2, so that budget is changed in terms of for Eagle, so that work can be reimbursed properly through the channels between the Eagle and the city. And that's it on that one.
Doing this too, would it help out the requirements for the ACO?
Yes.
It knock that couple off?
Yes, it targets many of their deficiencies, their significant deficiencies that were listed at the plant in regards of replacing filter wash arms, doing the filters, rehabs of filters 5 through 12, and also the improvements that the recommendations that they made on that sanitary survey to the city.
Work will start.
as soon as possible. So with water plant work, we're a little tardy on getting it to you, just because of the change in amendment. So now that we're at maybe the tail end of some of the projects that are happening now, we have been waiting to make sure that the budget could be moved. So here we are. But yes, that would start as soon as possible. Water plant work takes a long time because of the equipment and other things that they need to order. But yes, we need to get them started because they have until the end of next year to complete it, just like the other project.
What street project we gonna eliminate?
This one, it eliminates right now Superior and Ogden. The city does have resurfacing work done, targeted for Superior for next year, but this was some water main work that was on Superior and Ogden. So what that would do is, that Superior and Ogden would be listed as projects 1, 2, or 3 on your updated capital improvement plan. We'd seek out funding for that, and then you have a shelf-ready project in Superior and Ogden ready to go as soon as the city has the funds.
Commissioner Singleton?
While the project is going on, will it be any disruption in the,
This phase of the project, no. Everything would be operating as normal. There is some other projects targeted at the water plant that could, a reservoir project, but that project's not included in this bid for all these filter improvements. So there should be no disruption as part of this project. Yep.
Question from the citizen reps? Any questions? All right, well, Commissioner Henry.
About money. There's a grant. The city has ordinances, not ordinances, resolution for 25% for subcontract work, as well as Section 3, which is HUD money. And I think these projects should fall right under those resolutions, and that we should stop kicking the ball down the road or kicking ourselves, because if the commission wants jobs for our people and we keep falling away from providing jobs for our people for whatever reason other than I'm just having a problem with what's going on, and there is no jobs, there's no subcontractor, 25% subcontractors. So if somebody can address that and possibly change it, I'll be satisfied. Thank you.
Will it'll be local contractors be able to bid on some of the?
On the water plant work, I would have to check with FMV on that one. I do know that the local income tax was provided to them, but I do not know if they're planning on any job training for the work that needs to be done at the water plant.
Hydrant works. I know I've seen.
Hydrant work, Northern Construction has brought in people on their crews or have asked people to come on their crews. I don't know if they're working on the projects that they got now, but it is an option. Yep.
Mr. Henry.
Chair, could we, as elected officials, see what was written in that? I'd like to know that if we fell down before on the income tax and now we're putting it in the instruction, what about the subcontractors and what about Section 3?
First off, this is not HUD money. Section 3 does not actually apply. But beyond that, we don't have the people to fill them if they were there. And I've said that 1,000 times. And I've proven it recently when we couldn't even hire 6 people.
Is that to say that it is in the contract and they know that this is, that's my problem. If they don't know if it's not even in there and they don't know, like the income tax, we didn't even let them know that they were required to pay income tax. And check, help me out, is HUD not federal money?
HUD is federal money, but not the only federal money. We get money from EPA, we get money.
I'm talking about these projects that's being funded by HUD. So you can
These
say
projects are not-
One, I wanna know if the contractors were notified of the requirement per the resolutions of the commission, and if HUD is not community block grant money, and that's part of section 3. Now, if you can explain it to me, other than, I need that explanation, and, cause I am sick of not getting jobs in Benton Harbor.
The
You
expert,
say you can't find them.
the
I
ex-
wanna know if the process has been put in place to find them.
the requirement is written into it, but once again, Section 3 does not apply to this. This is not HUD money.
You saying the community block grant money is not HUD money?
This is not community block grant money. This is MDOT money.
What do these do refer to community block grant money? That's HUD money.
Number 4.
Oh, I'm too soon? Okay, well, hold that conversation to the next one.
We'll move that forward to the next one, Jason.
Yes, I don't have a presentation, but we added it today to the packet, just to keep things moving. It is the award of a recommendation for award of a contract to CPM Construction for the Bobo Brazil improvement. So really excited on this one. Let me get my notes here. So you do have that recommendation for award in your packet. I know Tiffany just put it in there just today. So we did also interview the 2 low bidders even today. It didn't change the low bids recommendation. So this recommendation that you have in front of you is a recommendation for the city to enter into a contract with CPM Construction for a total of $900,573. So just to give you a little background on what this contract includes, is really repairing critical items in the Bobo Brazil Center to in the exterior shell. Improvements to the roof, improvements to the windows, some doors and some masonry wall elements. Like I said, existing roof membrane, roof insulation repairs, really securing and enclosing the Bobo Brazil Center. So that is the first phase of this project. This is a part of a $1 million grant that the city received, so 900,000 is just under that. CPM has just worked in the city, not directly with you all, but have been working with Whirlpool on the Morton Park project and the Yarborough Park project. So CPM is a well-known general contractor in the area. So we really just would like to propose recommending award for CPM Construction to get started with this first round of improvements at the Bobo Brazil. The idea is if they get awarded very soon, they can start construction here in early fall and get this completed by the end of the year before the winter weather comes in. So this is to fix the broken windows, fix the holes in the roof, and really kind of get that building ready for the next phase of improvements to potentially the interior for function and use. So this is what's in front of you guys today to consider for recommendation.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Jason. So I'm looking at the subcontractors for roofing work, window work, door work, and concrete work. So will they be hiring local contractors?
I do not know that specifically.
Is it
They
written?
have been provided everything as part of the normal documents. We
written.
can show that. And they also were provided the income tax summary sheet that the city had provided.
Okay. Would local contractors be able to do some kind of roofing, concrete,
You don't really have any local minority roofers. You do have a concrete contractor that could participate. And you've got one other contractor that would be available anyway.
So was that a yes?
good, you got a question, Representative?
That's simply that they're available and that they could be would be contacted, I suspect. But, the contractor itself has to make the decision.
So now I guess I would be along the lines as Commissioner Henry in regards to where is our accountability for that, for the checks and balance as to, assure that it's happening.
Our accountability is to see that it's a requirement, see that they make the effort, and then work with whatever the results are. We don't hire subcontractors, the contractor does.
So, okay, so what is their process in regards to reached out? How are we knowing that? Are they calling you to say,
We monitor them and ask. A couple of these contractors have even called me before putting in the bids, asking about local contractors.
Good. Commissioner Henry.
I'm sorry, I just love to ask questions, so. My question is the roof gonna be completely done, or is it gonna be patched? I see there's a replacement of the roofing membrane and insulation. Is that gonna cover the full roofing?
I think,
whole-
yeah, the roofing membrane, I think it has to come in a complete repair, because it's one piece, and that's what you want to do. You want to completely seal the roofing section. So that membrane replacement, yes, it's all part of that top exterior roof.
Okay, and on the window glass repair, is that improvement, or is that, those windows pretty old? Is that a better window, or what? Windows are not the same anymore.
They'll be replaced with energy efficient windows.
Yeah, that's what I wanna hear. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Gunther.
Sorry if I missed this, Jason. Is there any improvement, or do we need any improvements to any HVAC?
There is a small improvement at the roof on the HVA system. I looked at the details today, and yes, there's a new unit that goes up as part of the roof replacement. So there's no plumbing improvements associated with this. This is just the exterior shell. So a lot of getting the building sealed is really what this project will complete.
And if you will, let me give you a little background here so we're all on the same page with where we're going. This is a part of the project that was also involved with the $20 million community change grant that was canceled, and still at this time is. But in that grant, we had $2.5 million that was going to be building improvements, in addition to some other stuff that was going to go on with the solar and so forth like that. Since that was canceled, this money comes from a state grant. We're doing the most crucial stuff that will prevent any further damage to the building with this grant. There's another $500,000, what they call EJ, I forgot what.
It's environmental justice.
Yeah, environmental justice grant that will be also used to do some additional stuff to take us as far as we can go. But it's not going to do the total job. It's going to do what works in the best interest of the city and that building, that no further damage occurs as a result of weather, water infiltration and stuff of that nature.
Are the utilities functioning? Like, is the plumbing operational?
From my understanding, the plumbing is still there and operational. But I would not, as part of those improvements that Mr. Little just talked about, is additional 500,000 is probably in items that you're gonna have to look into the interior.
Absolutely, because a lot of damage was done to that building. People went in there, it looked like they took a sledgehammer to the fixtures and so forth in the restrooms and things of that nature. They're all broke up and so forth. But this is, what we're trying to do is go as far as we can here with what we have. And it's our hope that we'll be able to get enough done to actually be able to use at least the first floor when this grant's exhausted and also the environmental justice grant's done.
So when you say use the first floor, is there funding for those repairs already? Is that included in that $500,000?
Here again, it's going to depend upon what they cost. The $500,000, we know a portion up to $100 is going to repair a sewer that's collapsed right right in the street by the facility. And then what's left, depending upon what the cost is for the cleaning and the interior and that kind of stuff, will determine how far we can go.
I would like to see the contract. And hear what they're saying. Thank you.
Anything else, that, move that forward? Next item on the agenda is the resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with CNH Lawn Service for the removal of cleanup of dead trees and limbs.
Yes, now that's a block grant funded contract where we're continuing the process under the activity for elimination of slum and blight, where we've identified a number of trees and so forth that are dead or laying down on lots and whatnot that we want to get cut up and removed and taken away. We put it out for bid, and this is the award to the low bidder on it.
So they were, those trees that's on there, was they given any ranking, or they just, how did you come up with that?
We went out and identified trees that are on city-owned lots and so forth that have this problem and need to be removed. And we've done one of these before, and we will probably be doing one other after this.
Any questions?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. City manager, I know we're addressing the trees and limbs, but, I've been getting a lot of calls about the city lots, schools starting. I don't know, could we add some city lots to this? Is this program?
These are all city lots.
Some high grass, though, I'm saying.
We're cutting through the high grass. They are doing it on a week-by-week basis right now. Yeah.
It has started cutting
Oh,
some of the
yes.
lots? Oh, right. Any questions from city reps? Go ahead, Mr. Field? Ms. Field?
So do we have a quantity? You have referenced areas, but how many, like, trees or limbs? And then did we have some pricing?
Pricing is actually in the, let's see.
Okay.
But it was submitted with the bids because the bids identified not only the lots, but we took pictures of the trees and stuff that we want to remove. So that when they finish work, we send the inspector out with the pictures to look to see that what we asked to be done is done.
And so you guys have been already removing some, because I know that there's
Yes, we
been-
have.
Okay.
Yes,
because
we have.
And I've noted that. I know people that had it across their front lawn, and they were sitting next to one, and then I've circled around, and those have been picked up. So I see some have been already removed, so good job with that, too.
Yeah, because what had happened is we had city crews going out trying to look at them, and some of them were just too big for us to deal with. So those were part of the ones that we wound up, doing this kind of thing with.
I did see the dump truck and the chipper going last couple of days, so that's a good sign. Got any questions? Gunther?
Is CNH a local contractor?
Actually, they're not. No. They're from the area, but not here in the city.
Did any local contractors bid on this job?
Did have one local contractor bid, yes.
That's a good question. Was there, like, what was the difference in bid?
I don't have the figures right offhand, but they were higher. And we're looking to try to get the work done, and both were qualified, but we're trying to get it done as low as we can so that we can stretch these few dollars as far as we can.
Anybody else got any questions on this item? Okay, all right. Madam Clerk?
And I might add, the local contractor did he did the work on the previous bid that we had.
Go ahead.
So what Representative Fields and I were just talking about is making local contractors, or maybe highlighting the fact that a local contractor did get this job, right? Because it encourages people to try harder or do more, or, a lot of times people don't do things because they don't think it'll happen. So I think that would be a good thing for communications, like from the city social media or something, celebrating that we are choosing local contracts for jobs.
I understand, it's a good idea. In fact, this local contractor we work with regularly. In fact, he's doing some other work for us right now. One being a tree that we've got to take out down here at the base of Hall Park, where the walkway that the contractor's working on has to come through.
Okay, Madam Clerk, you ready?
Yep, so the bid from the other contractor was $15,600.
Another point is that a local contractor, especially if they lived or their business was within the city limits, wouldn't they pay a higher income tax as well?
Not necessarily. It would depend on whether they lived in the city or not. The income tax is 1% for people doing the work that also live in the city. It's a 0.5% if they're doing the work, but they don't live in the city. Like myself, I pay a 0.5% because I'm outside.
And so if we did have a local contractor who did live in the city, couldn't there be credit given for that increase in taxes paid back into the city?
Not sure what you mean by credit.
So it's kind of like getting points for something, right? So if there was a local contractor that has a higher bid, but there was a higher chance of income tax money coming in from awarding them the bid. Wouldn't that balance out, especially since
That's really not a factor that we can consider in the bid. The bid has to be around both their price and our experience and the quality of their work. It may not always be the lowest bid, but it's going to be the lowest responsible bid under the circumstances that we have.
Is it illegal or inappropriate for that to be a factor?
It would be.
Ms. Fields?
Which one? Is it illegal or inappropriate?
It would be inappropriate and not really permissible.
And then my other question was that this is a local person and the bid was like 2,000 more?
As I said, it's not hurting him. He's working right now. We got him doing other things.
It's not about hurting, it's about what we are saying we wanted to do in regards to utilizing local people. And so, so my question is that the 2,000 was the determining factor ultimately, being that, like you said, we utilize them already, we already know it's work, it's good.
We considered all factors involved in it.
And so we meaning you make the final decision, just for clarity?
That's correct.
Okay, you.
Okay, yep, we'll move that forward. Madam Clerk, consensus, yep. Right, that was the last item on the agenda.
If I could please, wasn't Parks also normally with us? No?
Parks is part of economic development.
Okay. I've got an issue that's coming up that I'd like to, that's okay.
This time, any public comments? Any public comments?
One time, the city commission started talking about local contractors and giving them preference treatment. And if there's points given that Benton Harbor local contractors would get extra point or 10 or whatever. And that might be something that we need to look at. I know it probably won't come through this committee, but it's surely something that we should discuss and see if it'll, in the long run, we'll get our bang for our dollar by making sure that we've got 10 people working in the city of Benton Harbor and working for us. So I'd like to see if we entertain that somewhere along the line just for discussion.
Any other public comments? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.